Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the saga of Wisna the Shieldmaiden. So, to recap from episode 2 we tied up some loose ends, and by tying up loose ends I mean we went out to a farm and mercilessly hacked to death everybody who was out there. Well, not everybody, we let the women live. But we did hack everybody to death, we acquired a new thrall, and we pretty much took care of the last rebellious element of the clan. So all in all, it was a pretty good day, at least by Viking standards. And now, 3 days later, I was just awoken from my sleep in the early morning by the sounds of fighting outside. Apparently we are under attack by raiders from the sea, which I find a little bit troubling because I'm a Viking. Shouldn't I be the one who's raiding other people from the sea? Anyway, I've donned my weapons and armor, and I am about to talk to my family before I head out to do battle. And my brother promises to keep our mother safe. And my mother tells me to go find Kettle and Nefia will bar the door until I return. So, I am going to go out and defend my settlement. But first things first, we're going to have to make sure that we go through all of our inventory and make sure everything gets cleaned up a little bit here. Because, before you go to battle, it is absolutely critical that you make sure that everything in your kit is in good order. You also see, for example, it's a good thing I looked because you'll see I picked up a new sword. So, obviously, it's a big upgrade over my old sword. It has a higher base damage of 12 and a higher maximum damage of 18. It also offers me some better armor piercing, 6 compared to 2, and it gives me a little bit more damage on critical strikes. So, without further ado, we will equip that sword. Kind of would like the new shield too, but I guess, shouldn't ask for too much, I suppose. Now, I am also going to go ahead and equip myself with some mead, because, if you're going to go into battle, especially as a Viking, you need to bring a good flask of mead with you. And then I'm going to make sure my skills are good to go, because I have gained some skill points. You'll see down here I have 23 skill points available. And obviously you wouldn't want to run off into battle without your skills charged up all the way. So I have some options here. I could go ahead and increase my shield block a little bit more. If I was to increase my shield block, I would get an extra 10%. So that would actually bring me to 81% block chance, which would be quite good. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to drop most of my points into raising my shield up to another level. The reason I'm doing that is because I really want to get as high as I can, as quick as I can, because this character's primary thing is going to be fighting defensively. Now I have a couple of other options here. Unfortunately, I can't take Hardened. I could take Relentless. I do like Relentless quite a bit, especially on this sword build, because sometimes there's just not any reason to, I guess I just feel like some of the sword abilities just aren't justified to be used, because they're both sort of situational. So if I'm using a regular attack, Relentless would give me a 5% chance to get one extra attack. And I find that it actually does proc quite a bit. Other options I have is I could increase my damage against flanked enemies. I could also go ahead and increase my damage against harried enemies. Now, I'm actually going to do this because I do have an archer, and basically because I have that archer in my party, there's usually going to be one enemy that's harried. So this is a pretty good way to get a relatively consistent plus 20% boost to damage. The other thing I could do is I could go and start going up the throwing tree. So you could go basically throw rock. It's a free action, and that does give your opponent harried. So if you do that, and then you combine it with this ability, you're basically able to guarantee yourself an automatic plus 20% damage. It's kind of an exploit, and I might look into using it down the road. But not right now. For now, I'm just going to go with the straight buff to my damage, because I couldn't take both at the same time. And that sums up, not sums up, but that completes my leveling. And now it's out to do battle. I kind of wish I had a set of armor. It'd be really nice to have some armor. I'm basically, naked right now. And now, as soon as I get outside, Kettle runs straight into me as he has a wild look on his face. He says, "You're awake." I'm going to say, "Thank you for your contribution, Kettle. What's going on?" They're Northmen. They came by ship and they're attacking from both north and south. And I'm going to say, let's go find the others. Although I am interested to know why those beacons went lit. Since we're under attack, it's a little bit late to be wondering. And I'm going to go down here to the bridge where Nefia is waiting for me. And now you can see there's a bunch of enemies coming here. Uh-oh, this isn't good. Nefia's just taking quite a bit of damage. Uh-oh. Getting kind of worried here. She's pretty low on health. She might actually get taken out right from the start, and that would be really bad. But hopefully that won't happen. It looks like I've managed to dodge a bullet on that one. And that is kind of the danger of having... Uh-oh, maybe I didn't dodge the bullet on that one. Nope, luckily she missed. But one thing I do know is we do have to get Nefia back. We have to get her retreated, because otherwise she's probably going to be pretty badly injured, or killed, even. So now I am going to use one of the support characters here. One of the NPCs. I guess he's a guard, basically, but he does have the ability to heal, so he is going to heal Nefia. And then I'm going to put him back into cover here. Let's see if there's a good... I'm trying to see if there's a good place where I can put Kettle into some cover, but there's not. So I'm really just going to move him back. And I'm going to put him on Interrupt. So Interrupt's a cool ability because basically if he has a 75% chance to hit, or if the enemy comes within 6 hexes of him, he'll automatically attack, and you can do that during the enemy's turn. And then I'm going to move my character back and defend. And then I'm going to move the Smith back as well and put him in position. So basically all we did is really kind of pull back, so we're a little bit further away. We're going to try to draw them into us. As you can see, that is paying some dividends. As they are missing. And being able to negate those arrow attacks is very, very important. So I'm going to use Demoralize. I'm actually going to go down here to use it. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I can see which one of his ranged DPS are affected. And all of them are, and that's good. So Demoralize is basically going to take 30% off of their chance to hit, which is going to be very, very important. I don't think they actually demoralized me this turn. No, they did not. And that's very, very good, because that means now I could use Quick Shot with Kettle. Oh, of course he misses. Oh, of course you would, Kettle. We're going to kill this guy before you can get to that highlighted area there. And down he goes. So that's the one enemy down. Now we're going to move back again. So basically what we're doing is we're kind of trying to draw them into us more. You can see it's working. They're kind of filtering up onesie twosie. Well, maybe not. Maybe they're all coming now. Maybe I'm about to get bum rushed. I might have spoken too soon. And that time I was demoralized. So now I am going to move down here and I am going to brace. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get it so my player character is there. And that was a lovely critical hit. And the nice thing is because he has a bow, moving out of his circle does not trigger the attack of opportunity at all. And that's very, very useful. We'll have Neffy move in and deal a finishing blow to that archer. And then I will demoralize again. And unfortunately, that one archer there did resist demoralize, so I do know that I'm probably going to get hit with an arrow this coming turn. I'm going to put Kettle on interrupt again, and then we're going to end turn. As you can see, very good, because she was basically, I just blocked that ability and I have nothing taken off my shield. And this is kind of the first real test of my tanking. Uh-oh, here we go. And luckily he wasted his shot, a very low percentage shot, very low damage shot. I don't really know why you would have tried that, but anyway. Now that gives me Kettle. And Kettle is actually, let's see, what's his chance to hit? 60%, 65%. I'm going to try to put damage on both of them, because I think if he could get a hit on this one, which is a 65% chance, Neffy might be able to take this one out. Guess she can't. Pretty close though, and so now I kind of have the choice. I could opt to use his shot and take her out, or I could, well, I could keep demoralizing. I'm actually going to keep using demoralize, and the reason I'm going to do that is because he still does have those two archers left. And I'm also going to reactivate my block, or reactivate my defend. Oh no, he does have an axe though, so I am now exposed. That's not good at all. But luckily, that one damage dealer was scared off. And hopefully that misses. And it does. Luckily, Demoralized made that miss. So now the priority is going to have to be to kill him, because he can basically negate my shield block, because he can expose me. And expose, that's the shield hook ability. So if you are tanking with your shield, you have to be very cognizant, and I was not. You know, if they had had those other melee damage dealers still alive, it probably would have been costly. You have to be very cognizant of axe wielders, because they will open you up like that and leave you exposed. So I am going to charge the smith into combat, and he does a very nice amount of damage there. And Kettle, still, even with Demoralize, he's close enough. He has a 90% chance to hit, and he does. He takes that one down. And now, fortunately, this guy not so much. So what we're going to do is we are going to brace again, and then we're going to move down the bridge. And what we're doing here is we're basically just kind of pushing ourselves forward with Neffy close behind. I guess I probably should have moved the smith down this way as well. And we'll move Kettle up as well. And then I'm going to activate Demoralize one last time, just to reduce those archers' chances of hitting me while I close the distance on them. Uh-oh. And he does miss. So you can see really kind of the power that goes with Demoralize here. He hasn't been able to hit me at all, really, with arrows, outside that first round where he did a lot of damage to Neffia. But I'll move the rest of my party down here. As you can see, unfortunately, Kettle is not going to have a very good chance to hit. Once again, I will pop up Demoralize. I'm just going to kind of move everybody down so I'm closed up with that last archer there. And he is going to use his tactical move to try to escape. Oh no, I did forget there is a shield user there. So this is not good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use hook and slash on him. And Hook and Slash basically damages his shield and then deals damage to him as well. As you can see, that worked out quite nicely. Now he's almost dead. And it's all going to come down to whether or not Kettle can hit him. And he does. And Kettle manages to drop him. So that shield user went down very quickly. So you can see, if you are tanking, you can see that one of the problems is once your shield block is depleted, you're very, very vulnerable. And so you do want to be quite careful. Because if you're not careful, you're going to get hit. Oh, I forgot to activate Demoralize. That could have been very costly. Luckily, you still can't hit the broadside of a barn door, so we're fairly safe. And now, because I am in range of this guy, I am going to go ahead and attack him. I'm going to bring Nefia over to hit him as well. And you can see that guy's almost dead now. I'm going to send the Smith after him. And basically, by getting myself into melee range, it makes it a lot harder for these archers to effectively engage. And there we go. We finished him off. So we only have the one enemy left. I'm going to see if we could just finish her off this turn. Poor Una. Is it Una? No, yeah, Una. Left all by herself. And of course not, because Kettle can't hit the broadside of a barn door when it counts. But despite the fact that she got lucky and got missed there, her days are definitely numbered. And there we go. The final blow dealt by the Smith. And we have successfully defended the southern side of our village. That was quite nice. Nobody even came close to dying. The last of the Norwegians hits the mud and you allow yourself to pause for a moment to take stock of the outcome. Nefia wipes some blood off her blade. I'm glad you got here so soon. These raiders know how to fight. Turn back towards the village. We see one of the archers running towards us. And he says, "You're alive. The others are still holding off the attack at the northern gate. If you hurry, you might be able to rout the raiders there." Most certainly will hurry. I wonder if... Doesn't look like any of them are around. I was going to go try to drum up the witch. It's one of those moments. It might actually be useful to have a witch on your side. And we will, of course, be headed up to the gate, however. Before we do that, we're going to loot all these corpses. Wouldn't want to let anything go to waste, would we? Okay. Might as well loot some stuff out of these containers while I'm headed up to the gate there. And sometimes it is worth pausing for a moment. And in this case, I am going to stop and take the time to put some points into skills by followers. Most importantly, I am going to upgrade Kettle so he has aimed shot. Aimed shot does a lot to negate. It basically negates Demoralize completely. And it also, negates distance penalties. So if you're far a ways away and you get demoralized, you normally wouldn't have a chance of hitting the enemy, but with aimed shot you do, and you have a very good chance of hitting them. So it's a very useful ability. That's the other ability I use the most outside of quick shot. I'm just going to see if I can upgrade any of the bow abilities I'd like to use. And I can take Sharpshooter. Increases the minimum hit chance on ranged attacks by 10%. And that goes back into what I was saying earlier about we want our chance to hit to be as high as possible. So we will take that. And now we'll upgrade Nefia. And we're going to give her another point in Spear. And she also has some ability left, so we are going to give her... There's a lot of good options. I'm actually pretty tempted to take Relentless with her, because you see when you're attacking, when I'm attacking with the spear, I don't use a lot of the abilities. I really just use her basic generic attack. So she's a good candidate for Relentless. Basically, you want to take Relentless on characters that are going to be activating generic attacks, I guess you would say. Oh no, this is rather difficult. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stun him, hopefully. And it does. The stun works. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult, I think. In fact, this is probably going to be quite a bit more difficult. I wonder what my chance to hit with quick shot is. 10%. So, if you have 10% chance to hit, you are definitely not using that ability. And still only has a 40% chance to hit. That's really dismal. I don't know why he's such a crap shot right now. But, nope. And of course he doesn't hit. Not with that low chance. I would expect him to. So this might be a little bit more difficult of a fight. Alright, so this is going to be a very interesting fight, in fact. Alright, so let's see. What sorts of resistance does he have? He only has a 30% block chance, so it actually might be worth going after him. Oh, of course he's going to block that, but he did not block my attack, which is good. So he's almost dead now. I am going to expend quick shot, I guess, and try to take him down. And that does work, so he is down for the count. And I guess I'll send the second arrow towards him. And unfortunately, as you can see, when you block with a bow, it pretty much negates the attack completely. And we are going to move. We're just going to have Nefia attack him. As you can see, 50 damage, quite nice. Should put him down pretty quickly. And maybe Kettle will even be able to drop him and redeem himself for his horrible performance. And he does. We drop both of their shield-wielding warriors, which means we can now move Nefia up here, where she can next turn deal damage to that archer. Oh, and now there are more enemies coming, so that's not good at all. And Leaf just got stunned.
A warrior's death.
Fortunately. And what I'm basically doing there, when I moved that, you saw I activated my defend, and then I deliberately moved next to him and activated his attack of opportunity. The reason I did that is so that I could get Nefia out of harm's way. So Nefia is actually going to move down here, and she's going to attack that healer archer there. And he's going to throw a rock at her. And this is how you use the throw rock ability in conjunction with an attack. Because so now he's going to do a little bit, hopefully he'll do a little bit extra damage because she's harried. Oh no, because I need to have that passive skill unlocked. I was thinking he was part of my own party. I apologize. See, he looks exactly like one of my characters on one of my other playthroughs, and thus the confusion. But luckily, we do take him down. Kettle takes him down. And I am going to use my aimed shot to try to hit him. And we do. So we've already done quite a number, even on the reinforcements that came in. Unfortunately, Leif got stunned again.
A warrior's death.
And their archer just used ranging shot, so that's going to make it easier for her to hit me, which is not a good thing. And Leif just took some extra damage. And basically all I'm doing right now is I'm just drawing their attacks of opportunity, just in case I want to move one of my characters around them. And we're going... Oh. And that unfortunately hit his shield. What is his block chance? His block chance is actually 46%, so that's higher than the other guy was. So that means that we're probably not going to take him down. Or at least it won't be quite as easy. Hopefully we will drop this spearman. And of course I don't. Of course not. Of course she would choose that moment to miss. Luckily, Nefia is there. And she's able to drop the spearman pretty easily. My spearwoman's better than his. So now we really got to take this guy out. This guy's done quite a bit of damage to us. So let's see. What is the best way? Maybe I can stun him. Nope. Of course you would resist being stunned. How awesome. Okay, well, nope, I did not mean to click on him with her. Of course, she misses anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. Oh, at least I got a hit in on him, and hopefully maybe Neffy will as well. Nope, she did not. However, she did take off the last few points of his block, which hopefully Kettle will be able to deal the killing blow, and he does. Kettle is the hero of the moment, and drops that shieldman dead. And now we're going to move the rest of the group around, because we do know that there's going to be one more wave of enemies. You can see that they'll arrive in next turn. So we are going to move up here in order to be able to deal with that. And here they come, the last few. And now this guy's what you have to worry about? That damn Danax. Oh, poor Nefia. Ooh, he kicked quite hard, actually. And so basically, now I can move around him a little bit more. We're going to flank him. I can't decide if I have a chance at killing him or not. We shall see. I don't think I actually do have a great chance of killing him. So we're going to kind of move Nefia out of harm's way a little bit more. Maybe we'll actually move her down here to take him out. Unfortunately, that demoralize is really hurting me right now because I just can't... I can't believe she just missed that. That was horrible.
You will fall like all who face me.
So this is getting a little bit more difficult now. Unfortunately, we're a bit more difficult of a position. So I'm just going to use Kettle to try to take a little bit of damage off of him. And he does try to hit me, which is good. The more he focuses on me, the less he can attack my enemies. Or, not my enemies, my friends, I mean. Friends. Enemies. Same difference, right? So this is very, very not good. Unless, ooh, she did not demoralize. And since she's not demoralized, that gives me the perfect opportunity to just pump 2 quick arrows into him. And that ends that enemy. I'll move him up because he's been very badly injured. Move Nefia back up. And she's going to stab him with her spear. And I'll be able to use quick shot. Oh, maybe not. Maybe that was not such a good idea. Oh, no, well, Kettle gets lucky. 40% chance to hit, but like you said, you do get lucky sometimes. And then sometimes not, obviously. You can see, in case you haven't played this game enough to know, when you have a character on either side of an enemy, that enemy is flanked and cannot do anything. That was probably stupid. He did get killed, but oh well. He's just a guard. He's expendable anyway. And Nefia finishes off their healer, so that leaves only one man left. And Kettle should be able to finish him with quick shot. And that pretty much finishes that fight. You can see once again how strong quick shot is. Unfortunately, I did lose that one guard. However, he was sort of expendable because he wasn't actually part of my herd. So my herd made it out pretty much unscathed, which is good. And Torfin the carpenter appears from between 2 houses, his apron encrusted with soot and grime. He sounds short of breath. Says, "Oh, my dear girl, I'm so glad you're alive." The raiders' leader is headed towards the longhouse. He snuck another group around the village and got in from the east. That's not good at all. So let me finish looting these. Then we will go and try to defend our longhouse. And before we go to defend the longhouse, let's just take a look, make sure we don't have anything new that we can equip out of our inventory. Fortunately, there's not too much that we could really equip. And let's see, what I will do though, is I am going to switch Leaf around. I'm going to make Leaf into a dual-wielding character. Now the reason I'm doing that is because he's not a very good tank. Because I do want him to do 7 and 14, 8 and 15, so my heirloom sword is a little bit better than what he has right now. Then we're going to go and double check our skills real quick because I know we have not spent skills for Leaf. Unfortunately, we can't really do too much with him outside of give him hook and slash and a little bit more damage. So, with that said, that will actually... No, that should be it. So now we're going to go and try to defend the longhouse, which hopefully we'll be able to do. This is actually a slightly more difficult fight at the start of the game here. Now you are halted your tracks by an apparition. Outside your longhouse stands a man who almost defies description. He is a giant. His fur-lined shirt is barely capable of confining his bulging muscles. He is holding a weapon in each hand, and his stance calls to mind a bull in heat. By far his most outstanding feature, however, is his beard. It's the sort of beard you might expect to find adorning the face of a Jotun. It looks like a bear crawled onto his chin and died. I wouldn't say that's a very good beard. The giant's attention is not on you, however. Two of his raiders appear out of your longhouse, each carrying a large sack of what you must assume to be your possessions. Gunnar says, well, one of the raiders says, just an old woman and a weak leg. They offered no resistance. Gunnar says, I trust you didn't harm them? Not a hair out of place on either of their heads, Gunnar, just as you said. And so I'm going to attack. Now, I kind of wish you would actually get the chance to, you would get a little bit more of a chance to make your own decisions here. Or you would get a chance to attack first, because, as you can see, it makes it very, very difficult otherwise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Defend. We'll have Leaf come around and hopefully stun this guy here, which he does. And hope that Kettle can do enough damage to significantly weaken him. And there we are. Unfortunately, we just lost Kettle. This is a very tough fight just because of the high damage that you can take. But at least we did take down one. And now it's going to be me pretty much going toe-to-toe with Gunnar. And that amount of damage is obviously very difficult to... And this is going to be quite difficult, I think. But we'll see. Hopefully we can kill him. And then we'll be able to take out the woman on our own. And so far we're off to a good start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to move Leaf around to flank her. Well, he doesn't quite there, but he will be next turn. So, that's not good for me at all. But, see if we can stun her and buy another turn. And we do. We get her stunned, and that's brilliant, because now that means I can brace. And what that means is that not only can I brace, but I can now defend. And that will let Leaf kind of go to work on her a little bit more. And let her go after him. And since she's chosen to go after him, I am going to attack her, because with both of us hitting her, down she goes. And that was actually a pretty easy end to the fight. That fight can be tough if your party's not really designed for it. That's where having the extra tank was useful. You saw the ability to absorb one of Gunnar's hits probably made a lot of difference, because otherwise I would have been taken down. And if I would have gone down, then that would have left just Leaf, and that probably would have ended with us being defeated. But we weren't. Unfortunately, as you can see, because Kettle and Nefia both went down, both of them suffered injuries. Kettle suffered a light trauma to the head, and Nefia suffered a light fracture, so we will have to go and heal them. Gunnar fights with the strength of 3 men, but eventually falls, as all men do. While you pause to catch your breath, the giant pulls himself up onto his knees. His voice booms despite his injuries. Well, that was rousing. It's been a very, very long time since I met anyone who could match me in battle. You should get out more. He shakes his head and grins. I did not expect to find such strong warriors here in this teeny village. I thought you were unprotected. I see that I was wrong. I know when I'm beaten, I surrender. Kendall places a hand on your shoulder. We shouldn't kill him, at least not yet. We might be able to get something useful out of him when the dust has settled. I'm going to tell him to find a place and lock him up. Kettle fetches a few more of your clansmen. They tie Gunnar up with enough knots to pacify a frenzied bull. The huge man makes no effort to resist as they take him away. Well, we will loot these bodies here, see if there's anything useful. Well, not really. So I will head in here and speak to my mother real quick. Better check because those raiders did just come out of here. Rurk cracks the door open, holding a knife behind his back. Seeing your face, he steps away from the door to let you in. And my mother says, "You're alive." She grasps me with both her arms, as though to make sure they're still firmly attached, and she says, "You're in one piece, oh thank the spirits." I say, "It's over, we beat the raiders." And Astrid says, "I'm so proud of you. You truly are your father's daughter. Something is amiss. Why were the beacons not lit in warning? And the timing is so very convenient for our enemies." And Nefia says, "Perhaps we should talk to the giant now that he is at our mercy. He led them here. He must be able to tell us why." And my mother tells me to see what I can find out. She has my brother here to help her clean up the mess. And so that concludes the Northmen's raid. I think I should probably double check that. I can never remember when that quest ends. But that does conclude the raid. We have successfully defended our village from a band of marauding Vikings, which is good. That's actually relatively hard for a lot of newer characters to complete. So we'll take a look. It looks like we gained 10 skill points, and that's good. Not enough to get me the ability I want though, so I'm actually going to save those skill points. And that is going to conclude the third episode of the Saga of Wisna. I hope you enjoyed watching. Next episode we will interrogate the giant here, and hopefully we'll get Nefia and Kettle healed back up. Because if you don't get them healed in time, these injuries could very well kill them. And obviously we don't want that to happen, as they are not only valuable party members, but also dear friends. So thank you very much for watching, and please come back and watch episode 4. Thank you, and take care.